Hey guys, TSW here. Sorry for not posting a video like last week. I try and do them fortnightly or ideally weekly, but yeah, I've had a few upgrades on my PC as well as like having to do the operating system reinstall and all that cool stuff. Also, I've been able to I think improve the quality of my recordings, like what I'm doing now, by going on to like my control panel, and there's something called like the boost or something. If you take the boost off and have it as pretty much as standardized as it can be, when you have a fresh install and don't tweak anything, because a lot of the time I'm speaking with friends on Skype and they always complain, oh, you're really quiet and whatever. So basically you have to put it on maximum so that they can hear you. That seems to be the case. But when recording with Sony Vegas and other programs, the quality seems to be diminished as it's boosting the volume as like a main priority, and getting rid of the quality which obviously I want when I'm doing videos like this. So I think that it sounds more like me and less loud and robotic sort of thing. Anyway, yeah, you just seen a video of me get my offhand Warglaive. I had the main one for quite a while. Finally finished off the set and got the other offhand. But don't worry, the video isn't going to be just about that. It's going to be more about well, I'm going to talk about a little bit about how upgrading my computer has helped run WoW so much smoother, and I'll talk about that later. And also about streaming and frapsing, because obviously having a better spec computer, I'm able to fraps a lot more. And when I'm not frapsing, I'd really like to start streaming. Okay, so let's get back to the Warglaives. Yeah, I got my second Warglaive. I completed the set. It really sucks that you have to have a Fury spec as a warrior. So I can't, wield them all the time because I like having two tank specs. But yeah, they look pretty cool. And yeah, it's nice to go for, it only takes half an hour each week, and you've got a chance of getting yourself a, cool looking item, and I find it worthwhile. And I believe the next item I'm going to go for is the bow, and then maybe for Shadowmourne. But I was kind of competitive in PvE during Ice Crown, did a lot of high end stuff, but I seem to think of the Shadowmourne as being an easier item to get. I wasn't playing as high end as I am now, or in Ice Crown Patch, or in Wrath of the Lich King. Back in TBC, when the bow was the best legendary and the Warglaives were really awesome. So I rank those really highly because the people I wasn't in a guild with anyone who had them, but now with the Shadowmourne, a guild with a couple or three people with Shadowmourne, it's no big, it's not a big deal. Whereas back then, I saw someone with dual Warglaives and I was thinking, oh my god, this guy is so cool. But anyway, back to what you're seeing on this video now. Yes, it's bot trash, really boring stuff, but I've got a computer now which I'm able to fraps at the highest resolution, which is what I fraps at most of the time because it records it at the highest of high definition, and yeah, it's really good. Let me maximize the preview so I can see everything. Okay, so yeah, it's just bot trash, but this just illustrates the fact that I'm able to fraps everything without, losing any frame rate. I'm at least above 30 FPS when frapsing anything. I never go below 30, even on health as heroic, which we'll get to in a minute. So basically, yeah, I upgraded my processor, which was a dual core, to a i5 2500K, which is like rank 21 or 22 ranked CPU processor on the market right now, and it's really cheap. It was like £120 for me. So yeah, it's like the most cost effective by a mile, and it's so much better than it was. And this is where I'm going to get onto something which I was a bit umming and ahhing about, and I'm sure that a lot of you have questions as well regarding upgrading your hardware. I have a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 260 graphics card, which is quite old, maybe 4 years old, and that runs WoW fine. I can get up to 300 FPS, when no one's about, with that graphics card, and that's an old, really bad graphics card. Okay, WoW is so dependent on the processor. If you're going to upgrade anything, upgrade the processor. Correct me if I'm wrong, but as long as you have 4 gigs RAM, no more RAM is relevant to get. There's no point in getting 8 gig RAM or any more. 4 gigs is becoming the standard these days, and getting any more doesn't seem to improve the game quality in any way. The graphics card, obviously you need a dedicated graphics card, but I mean mine's 4 years old and it runs WoW fine. So I can come to the conclusion that it's not the graphics card which WoW needs, to be amazing. It is most definitely the CPU. At the moment, I'd still would perhaps say it's still the processor holding me back, because my graphics card is running fine, I believe. It's still the processor which you can boost a couple more frames out, etc. I do not have the shadows enabled. The shadows are off. Other than that, every graphic setting is on maximum. So yeah, I'm frapsing at 30 FPS, and I average out at around 50, 60 FPS, I think, without frapsing. So yeah, this is our first attempt on Halphus. So yeah, basically I'm able to fraps everything, including Halphus Heroic, which is the most computer hardware demanding encounter in the game. And here I die because the other tank dies, I taunt his mob and I'm not healed and I'm dead. But anyway, yeah, this brings me on to my next point about streaming. Because I'm able to fraps everything, I'm able to get, all the wipes, all the trash, all the progress, every attempt, blah, 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 blah. And before, with my old processor, because the only thing that's changed is a new processor. I had to buy a new motherboard to fit the new processor in and get some DDR3 RAM because my DDR2 RAM didn't work in the new motherboard. But yeah, the main thing is pretty much the only thing I've upgraded is the processor, and that's boosted me up from where I'd be frapsing generally, like Magma Heroic. I know I was frapsing at around 8 to 15 FPS, which is pretty low. But now I'm pretty sure that I'd be able to fraps Magma Heroic at 60 FPS, which is a big change. And if I wasn't frapsing, I'd be, above 60, maybe 70 FPS, which is really good. Because when you're progressing, especially for the first kills, frapsing at, 8, 15 FPS is really low. There are certain situations where I'd be thinking to myself, oh my god, I hope I'm not targeted or have to do a lot of moving, because there's a little bit of a delay. If the FPS does drop below 5, that's when you're in real trouble. I did used to play in TBC on a laptop, which ran about 2 FPS during 25-man raids, and it would go black screen for about 10 seconds every 30 seconds. So a third of my time was black screen. I remember, I'd be in Black Temple, I'd be calling for the misdirects, I'd charge in and have a black screen for 10 seconds. Luckily, it didn't really pose too much of a threat because the MDs went off and I'd still be spamming my keys, but like I say, black screen is not good. You can't do anything. If someone pulls aggro, you've got no idea. But yeah, that was horrible. That was on minimum graphic settings, as low as it can go, and on 2 FPS, which wasn't very nice, and it would occasionally dip to 1 FPS. But yeah, that was good. But now I'm able to run pretty much maximum settings, maximum FPS, because there's not much more point having it more than 60 FPS, which is what I'm averaging out now. So yeah, I've got a decent system now, and I'm able to fraps everything. So this is good for you because I'm able to fraps everything. Like Halphus Heroic on my old computer, I would not have been confident at all to fraps this sort of content. Also with fraps, you can fraps at full resolution, which my monitor is 1920 by 1080, which is like full HD resolution. And you can also fraps at half resolution, so I could fraps at half that. Which would increase my FPS. But yeah, I'm most likely going to render this in 1080p and have it, rendered as high quality as I can get it. So you can read everybody's name on the grid, although it's not grid, it's default grid, whatever the default raid frames are. And yeah, you can see every little bit of text, read all the writing, all the numbers, really nice. Whereas before you may have had to, squint or kind of guess at what the numbers are, because at the moment you can see Augusta at 6,870 something FPS on top, and yeah, you can read it. It's really nice because I'm able to fraps at the highest quality. Also, rendering times are decreased a lot because of having a better processor. Also, I'm able to stream, which is something that I'm quite excited about. I can stream with Xfire, which, if you don't know, Xfire is a streaming program where you can download it and it'll enable you to share your games with anyone with an internet connection. It's really good. I can like load up WoW, stream. If you have the link or my Xfire username, which is the Strong War, one word, I'll post the Xfire link in the description, and also whenever I'm streaming, I will post a bulletin on YouTube. I think last week sometime I posted a bulletin and had like 5 or 12, between 5 and 12 during the whole raid. People watching my stream had a couple of questions like, did you used to be on this realm? And I'm like, yeah, because people recognize me from my old realm, and I'm like, oh my god, people like, oh my god, that's weird. But yeah, it's really cool, you know, talking to you guys, and between wipes and trash, you know, it's not hard to fulfill your job tanking, you know, charging, tank these mobs. You can be pleasantly chatting to people whilst you're doing all that, which is pretty cool, especially with wipes and stuff. You know, you can ask me questions and things. There are other people who stream, like some of the top guilds that stream. They have like 1,000, 2,000 people viewing their streams, which I don't expect to get anywhere near those numbers. But you know, I aim to be giving some form of advice whilst doing the streams. You know, you can talk to me about tactics and stuff, and provided I'm not in the middle of the encounter, I will try my best to have a nice conversation with you guys. What a lot of the other people do that stream is they don't stream their voices. They just stream, you know, the vent conversation and maybe the WoW noises and some music they're listening to. But I generally like to stream with my voice on, so you don't just get the conversation that's coming to me, you get my conversation as well and my responses. So if you ask me a question, I'm, you know, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to be able to answer it speaking like this, instead of having to type out and tab out and all that stuff, which can potentially be, you know, more problematic. And between wipes I can see what you guys messaged and, you know, answer a few questions maybe. So yeah, look out on YouTube. I may also get into the Twitter scene, because that seems to be a really good way of getting, you know, information across and telling you guys when I'm streaming and when I'm able to, you know, show you some content that you can watch. Here we do get a DC because it's patch day. But yeah, so this was last week. I'm going to be frapsing and streaming next week, trying to get some sort of content out for you guys. My preview has gone black and I do not know why. I think that's the end of the fraps. Okay, I'll get some more random fraps up. So yeah, basically in the future I'm going to be frapsing every encounter, doing, you know, more commentary with quicker rendering speeds. I can upload it to YouTube nice and quickly. And yeah, it's really cool. So expect a lot more videos from me and streaming as well. Like I say, I'll have my Xfire link in the description. I will try and stream something, you know, I'll just do raids for now, but if I get very positive or even just, you know, neutral feedback from that, I may start streaming other games and doing other events. Like I play a bit of Call of Duty, a bit of Crisis. I got League of Legends quite recently, just experimenting with that, and, you know, those sort of games which you don't have to be on the same realm, you don't have to level a character up, you can play with me, do some, you know, gaming nights, gaming sessions. But I will say for the moment that with regards to WoW and raiding, Greenwich Mean Time 6 till 10, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, Tuesday. So today is a Tuesday and I plan to be streaming tonight on the Nefarian Heroic, and yeah, on Wednesday some farm raids. So yeah, Wednesday might be the most interesting, but definitely the farm raids are, you know, pretty boring for me, so there may be, you know, times where I can talk to you guys. Anyway, that's the end of the video. It's gone on long enough, 14 minutes. So yeah, subscribe if you are new to seeing my videos. Give me a thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't like it. And yeah, stay tuned and I'll catch you guys later, hopefully with a lot more videos. Expect them to come in the future. Cheers and catch you guys later. Bye. And I'll leave you with a little bit of PvP at the end. Cheers.
8 seconds. Rogue. Hunter. Right, hit the hunter. Don't shit. You gotta jump down. Yes, I did it! Fuck, where you gone? Get close.